Hello, and welcome to today's Opt to Thrive Manage Your Mind Mindful Moment.
Welcome to Opt to Thrive, your go-to podcast for women's wellness in midlife, designed to educate, support, and inspire you to live your very best life. And now your host, Dr. Karina Sims.
Today, I have a confession to make. When I have some spare time and I'm all alone at this time of year, one of the things that I really like to do is to sink into a good, cheesy Christmas movie. Now, I know I'm not alone here. Well, I am actually alone because it's kind of the last thing my husband's going to want to do. Unless, of course, it's his idea of a good Christmas movie, which is Die Hard. But I do know that one of my best friends shares this guilty pleasure, and there has to be a reason Netflix has like a gazillion of them to choose from. And every year they come out with new ones. There's small town romances, mismatched lovers, reunited sweethearts, royals in disguise, grumpy, crunchy people discovering the true meaning of Christmas, and people overcoming insurmountable odds. So as we head into the season, and I've now already watched a few of these, I have found myself reflecting on why. Why is this something that a good few of us like to do? I mean, really, the acting is usually pretty borderline, to say the least. And the storylines are somewhat predictable. So what's the appeal? Well, apparently, watching Christmas movies can be considered a form of self-care. And there's lots of reasons for that. For one, they can give us a form of stress relief and relaxation. And what better time to indulge in some stress relief and relaxation? Because for a lot of us, this can be a time of year that life gets really chaotic. It can get more stressful and sometimes just plain overwhelming. And what better form of escapism is there than disappearing into a heartwarming Christmas story? It's a short, temporary mental respite into a predictable and comforting world. A world filled with joy, love, kindness, togetherness, and there's always a happy ending. It can be a real emotional reset, helping us to unwind and reduce anxiety, all while experiencing moments of joy and laughter. And you know what? It's not just all the feel-good themes that can do this for us, but there's also most likely an underlying psychological phenomenon occurring, something called nostalgia bias. Nostalgia bias is when we remember the past as better than the present. You know, the good old days. For a lot of people, negative emotions of the past can fade faster than the positive ones. And with time, the good memories can get even better while the bad ones disappear. Now, if you've listened to my backstory, you'd appreciate that I didn't often have overly idyllic Christmases growing up, but I still recall it as being a really magical time. The way I remember it, no doubt through nostalgic bias, is that there was always a sense of wonder and excitement leading up to Christmas. One of my earliest memories was of a Christmas when a couple of strangers, a man and his wife, took my brother and I to buy, I think it was coats or shoes or something. The details are fuzzy because I was pretty young, but I recall it being some type of charity situation, probably through the church or something like that, where this couple, out of the kindness of their hearts, wanted to give something to those less fortunate. And in our situation, it was two small children of a young itinerant single mother with a drug problem. When I recall this memory in my mind's eye, I see this happy, loving couple, which was something that, I wouldn't have seen a lot of in my surroundings. They were holding hands, and I was holding the hand of the smiling woman in this beautiful, long wool, deep green colored winter coat. It was cold and dark outside, and there were twinkling Christmas lights and the hustle and bustle of other Christmas shoppers. The emotions that memory brings to me are stability and joy, hope, gratitude, excitement, and kindness. Then there was the year I was about 8 years old when we were reunited with my mom, who had just been released from jail. and we woke up to stockings full of her amazing homemade fudge wrapped in little foil squares. All of these memories would have strengthened associations of connections, family, hope, joy, love, and anticipation of new beginnings. And thank goodness for nostalgia bias, because for me, it certainly has strengthened those beautiful memories and let the not-so-good ones just fade into the background. These beautiful Christmas-associated emotions for me can be triggered with Christmas-associated things like Christmas lights, pumpkin pie, stringing cranberries and popcorn, candy canes, Christmas cookies, jingle bells and Christmas carols, all the things that are overflowing in Christmas movies. A lot of us would have positive Christmas associations, and just watching a Christmas movie can make our brains light up like a Christmas tree with feel-good neurotransmitters like dopamine and oxytocin. So ultimately, taking the time to watch a holiday movie can be a simple but pretty effective way to nurture yourself, escape from daily pressures, and just embrace the Christmas magic. But for those of you I still haven't sold on the good old Christmas movie, they just don't work for you, I hope that this season you'll find your own way of bringing some love, joy, happiness, and peace into your life and taking some time for self-care. I also hope you all have a beautiful holiday season wherever you are and whatever that looks like, whether it's in the sun for us Aussies and everyone in the Southern Hemisphere, or in the snow or colder weather for all y'all in the Northern Hemisphere. I hope you have some joyous memory building with your family. And above all, I hope you opt to thrive. Happy holidays, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this Manage Your Mind mindful moment. And if you have, and you can think of someone else who might enjoy it, please pass it on. And don't forget to rate and review the podcast to make it more visible to those who might get something out of it too. Have a great week, everyone. And until then, I hope you opt to thrive.
The Opt to Thrive podcast is designed for information purposes only and is not engaged in the giving of medical advice. The information provided on the podcast should not be used for diagnosing or treating a health problem or disease. In no way should the information provided by Opt to Thrive be considered medical advice, and at all times the advice of a medical professional should supersede recommendations from Opt to Thrive. If you have or suspect you may have a health problem, you should consult your healthcare provider. The views expressed in this podcast are purely that of Dr. Sims and do not in any way reflect those of the institutions she contracts for medical services to.
Thank you for listening to Opt to Thrive. If you've enjoyed listening, please rate and share the podcast. You can visit our website at opttothrive.com and leave a comment for any subjects you would like to hear more about.